Hey y'all, welcome back.
It's Wednesday, so you know
We're winging it.
And today we've got another great Winging It with friends for you. These are our friends Marilyn and Carl, two new full-time RVers who decided to go full-time during the pandemic. So they're going to share their stories with us on this week's Winging It. Okay, before we get started, let's quickly review the rules of Winging It. Since this is a Winging It with friends, we're going to set the timer on my phone for 15 minutes. When the timer goes off, we'll wrap things up. Totally unedited, unscripted, and you get what you get. So, 15 minutes on the clock. We're winging it.
All right.
Thanks for joining us,
You
y'all.
betcha.
Yeah, well, like Stacy said, what made y'all want to go full-time in the middle of a pandemic?
Well, we were living in a really nice 55-plus retirement center, or senior citizen, and it was, we were having lots and lots of fun, a lot of camaraderie, a lot of games, a lot of breakfast together and evenings together. And then when COVID hit, all that was just shut completely down. And we had an RV, about 10 years prior to that, and when we had it, we always said, you know what? We could live in this if we had to. So we just kind of forced us over. Instead of paying the high rent, let's pay some expenses getting a bus here and go full time doing it. And we've done it for 2 months, and we're loving it.
That is awesome.
So, you've been doing it 2 months now. I mean, are you happy you did it?
We're still married.
Yeah. It does put that to the test.
So what has the travel been like? How many states? What have you done?
I'll let her answer
I
that.
counted it up the other day. There were 13 states, and some of those were repeated, but 13 states in 2 months. So met a lot of fine people, some good parts, some not so good parts. But we wanted to get away from the heat of Texas, being from the Houston area. So we headed up with family. We had a family trip planned to go to Lower Colorado, up into the mountains, and actually to a lake where my parents used to go fishing back in the late 70s, early 80s. And so that was really neat to go back to that exact RV park even. And we parked there for a month, and beautiful weather, and we'd hear about the weather down in the Houston area or back home, how hot it was. So sorry about y'all's luck, but we're enjoying the nice cool weather and family get-togethers. And then, but 1st of September we went up to, or tried to go to Mount Rushmore and spend some time, but that's when that real heavy cold front came through, strong cold front came through. And so we saw it real quick and then turned around and headed south, because new RV, we weren't real sure about the below freezing temperatures, how it would be. Anyway.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
But you know, that's the great thing about being a full-timer,
Yeah.
is you can just change on the fly.
Right. Yes, we do.
Keep your plans in pencil.
You betcha.
Yes.
Now, what do
Lot of
y'all
flexibility.
travel in? What is it y'all full-time?
We've got a Newmar Ventana LE, and it's a 34-foot. And these folks right here watching their YouTubes are the ones that influenced us to
Yeah.
get a smaller one, so you can stay in the smaller parks. It's easier parking, and with the 3 slides, it feels like a much bigger RV. We are totally comfortable in it.
That's awesome. So far we've given you some good advice, you think?
You betcha.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
what's been your most challenging thing so far of going full-time? You had already downsized a little
Yeah.
bit because you were living in the apartment as opposed to the house. And so what's been your biggest challenge in making this change?
Fill in the fuel tank.
Yeah, getting over that shock.
But it gets over 8 miles to the gallon, which is not bad. That's with the generator running full time. It's going up the mountains, going down the mountains, and quite frankly, I'm happy with the gas mileage. So I say it's a big thing, but it really isn't. We've really enjoyed the lifestyle.
When he says running the generator full-time, for those of you that don't have a motorhome with a generator, you can run your generator at the same time you're going down the road, and it's actually suggested by most people, because you're running the ACs and stuff on top if it's hot,
Yeah.
and so you could keep your whole house cool, which is a big advantage, because if you get people that travel with fifth wheels, they're when they get to their campground, they have to cool that fifth wheel down before they can really even enjoy it. But when we get to a place, we're already cooled down.
You bet. Yeah.
So I mean, it is an advantage, and I think some people may not even realize that. They see the advantage of walking back and being able to go to the bathroom and that kind of stuff, but the fact that you're actually running your ACs and stuff and keeping on the roof, keeping the whole house cool.
And what I've heard from people that know, apparently, you can't hardly wear a generator out. I mean, they're designed to run hours and hours and hours and hours. So the RV will probably wear out before the generator.
They like to be used.
As long as they get maintained properly and everything, yes, they're meant to go long term. That's for sure.
So you've only been on the road now a short time, but how has your full-time living been different from when you were just weekend RVers?
Has it been different? Well, we don't eat out as much, but I don't mind cooking. We go to a lot of Walmarts. Just about every time that we're overnighting somewhere. But it's I guess our social life but then we make friends within. You go to an RV park and people just are coming out of the woodwork to meet you and greet you, and we have all this camping lifestyle or freedom lifestyle you want in common.
Absolutely.
And we haven't seen hardly any masks, within the campgrounds, and that's really been nice because we're anti all that. Except for in the public places, we'll put the mask on like we're supposed to.
Right.
It's other than that.
I guess the biggest challenge is getting through the Whataburger line, drive-in line.
Chick-fil-A too. Yeah, we still had our Chick-fil-A. Can't do without that.
You gotta have your Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah.
Now y'all are pulling a Toad as well,
Yes,
right? What do y'all pull?
A Chevy Equinox.
Okay, and do you flat tow that, or do you have a dolly?
Flat tow.
Mm-hmm.
And it tows just fine. And actually I like towing it because with the rear view camera, I can look back and it gives me a really good sense of am I staying between the lanes correctly.
You know, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I like to use that for the same reason.
And the scary thing, and I'll just give you a quick story. When we first started, we were driving on the freeway in Houston, new RV, it's just kind of nerve-wracking. And so I'm switching lanes and turn the blinker on. It turns the camera on that side of the vehicle. So I turn the blinker on, I look in the mirror, or in my camera, and the car's missing. Marilyn, I've lost the car! That's a true story.
Oh, wow.
Really.
Well, with us, we just changed bike racks. And we changed out our bikes because our old bikes, the weather will do a number on your bicycles when you're full-time or long-time because they're always outside. And you're in all different types of weather, and so our old bikes finally wore out. We decided to go with something a lot more basic this time, so there'd be less that we'd have to maintain and worry about.
No gears and brakes and all that.
Single gear, and so we had to change our bike rack because the rack that we had wouldn't carry the new type of bikes.
Gotcha.
So the new rack sits a lot lower, and so as we were driving down the road for the first time with the new rack and the new bikes on the back of the Jeep, we couldn't see them, and we're like, did we lose the bikes already?
Yeah.
Same thing.
I looked out that rear view camera and I'm like, oh, the bike's over there.
What did I forget to do? Oh no.
Yeah, the funny things. But you told me a neat story that I think really is perfect in the RV lifestyle, is that you have family kind of spread out. So you're going to be able to travel and like go see your son.
Yeah.
Right. And starting out, our granddaughter is a freshman at Texas Tech. Am I allowed to name schools?
Oh, yeah.
But anyway,
we
went through Lubbock and stayed at an RV park there. Went and picked her up, took her out to eat, and then she came back to the RV to see it. And visited a long time before she wanted to go back to the dorm, and it was just wonderful to connect with our granddaughter. Around not with her parents.
And she probably thinks her grandparents are pretty cool that they're full-time RVers.
I hope so. But anyway, yeah. And our son is, in Las Vegas. And so we may be spending Christmas out there with him. Hey,
And
Alan,
so-
how about that?
They're coming for you.
You better cook some good bird.
And you're getting to see your daughter
Yeah.
for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's awesome. You know, that's one of the things. Most of our families in the Houston area are immediate family.
Mhm.
But we were recently in San Antonio, and we got to see my brother and his family
Right.
that lived there. And, you know,
And
we
brand new niece.
brand new
Yeah.
niece. And when we
Yeah.
go to Iowa, we'll get to see, you know, Tom's got family up there, and just family kind of spread out. And that's one of the, and friends too,
Yeah, and
you
friends,
know.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
friends that we've made on the road that we run into
Right.
sometimes by accident,
Right.
you know, in different
Right.
places.
Right. Your
Yeah.
family grows, really.
It really does. You know, I think
Yeah.
that's a great
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
We
to put
just
it,
a
Marilyn.
couple of days ago we were in one park, and we decided to go to a new park several hundred miles away. And doggone if another couple that had been at the previous park came right in, parked almost next to us. It's kind
Isn't
of like,
that
isn't that
something?
strange? You know, going that many miles, and here's a couple you've already met before. So
Wow.
So I think you've kind of told the story, and we've told it too. It's easy to make friends on the road, isn't it?
very
Oh, yeah.
easy, very
I
easy.
mean, so a lot of people worry about that, you know, because they're getting away from some of
Mhm.
their friends that they've known forever. But we find it very easy
Very
to make
easy.
And
friends.
that's encouraging during the COVID times, too.
Yeah.
So you're encouraging one another is great.
Absolutely, because travel is a little bit
Yeah.
different
Right.
right now.
Right.
You know,
Right.
not everything
Yeah.
you might want to see and do
Right.
is available.
Mhm.
And if it is, it's kind of scaled back
Right.
from
Right.
what you normally might find.
Right.
We just went to Branson a few days ago and stayed in a real nice RV park, the state park that's outside of Branson. And we were still able to go to a couple of shows that we like to go and
Oh,
see
that's
there.
good to know.
Yeah, there were social distancing, but it was great. Yeah, we had no problem getting tickets.
Have y'all stayed in any state parks or national parks yet?
We've stayed some state parks, Texas state parks, and I
Yeah.
guess that was a state park in.
In Branson,
Li-
well, it's Table Rock State
Oh,
Park.
I've heard great
beautiful,
things.
Yes.
beautiful, beautiful, and
Yeah.
didn't have any problem getting in there. That was something I was kind of afraid of because I was listening to y'all and saying, "You really need to get your reservations 5 months in advance." I want,
We don't plan like that.
Well, we normally don't either. I mean,
yeah. So it was kind of like a winging it. You get what you
But you were able to get a spot.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah. And we were going to originally be there just 2 nights, but we stayed 3 nights because it's up front was coming through rainy and cold. But then we got in, like I said, we were able to get some tickets, so we needed to stay a little bit longer for that, and it was worth it.
That's
Love
awesome.
Branson.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you went up to Napanee, Indiana,
Yes.
I know, to Newmar.
Right.
And that went good.
It went very well. What a beautiful facility, the service facility. It's huge. I don't know how many full-size RVs they can get in there, but it is a bunch. Because of COVID, you couldn't go inside the service facility to talk to technicians, but they would come out and talk to you. But there was a picture window up on the second floor where you could look down on it. And there was just RV upon RV all parked in there, you know, social distance apart from each other. But you look down and the floor, I don't know what it was. It wasn't just basic concrete. There was some kind of flooring on top, and it looked so clean. I bet you could eat off of it. It was just
Wow.
really, really impressive for a facility that works on big RVs to be that clean. It was just totally amazing.
and you said the area there is a lot of fun too.
The area is a lot of fun. If you haven't been around that area with the Amish folks, their farms are picturesque and very, very beautiful. But they're at the service facility, and the RVs get up over $1 million. Over and over again, right through that facility, you'd have the Amish buggies with the horse and buggies walking through. Just the juxtaposition of the two lifestyles, very interesting, very neat. You know, of course, we want to get pictures of things like that too, because it's got people don't believe you, but
Oh,
it's
that's
true.
really, really
Very,
something
very
to see.
true.
And also, for those of you that don't know, up in Indiana, the Amish play a huge role in building these
Yes.
RVs.
Yes, they do.
They are a big part of the workforce, and they literally do show up and work at work a lot of times in horse and buggy.
Yeah.
Or on
They do.
bicycles.
Or on bicycles.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll ride for hours every morning just to get to work.
That's
is awesome.
crazy.
Is it crazy?
Yeah.
That
It's
is
very
awesome.
fascinating to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But they're all seem to be very craftsman type oriented. I mean, they must have a really good, just innate mechanical ability, woodworking ability. There's just raw talent there that's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
That is very
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, okay, once we get past 2020
Mm-hmm.
and the holidays,
Yeah.
what are y'all most looking forward to next year? Do you have any plans? Are you going to wing the whole year?
We're
or
gonna
what
wing
would
the
you
whole
like to
year, I
do?
think. Yeah.
One month at a time. I don't know.
I like that.
Yeah.
Are there things on your bucket list that maybe even not next year you want to see, but that you definitely want to make sure you get to?
Like to get back to the Smoky Mountains.
Yeah.
And just more in the east. But we
It's all right.
Go
Finish
ahead.
that thought.
traveled a lot prior to the RV lifestyle, a lot of cruises and stuff. We have met up with some people that are also Newmar owners, and they've told us about some tours that you can sign up for and go on. So we're looking at some of that.
Yeah, I would say Alaska's probably on the bucket list.
Oh,
I
yeah.
used to-
It is for us too. Maybe we'll go together.
That would be super. Let's do it.
Yeah, because they say it's good to caravan up
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So yeah, one of these days,
That's
maybe we'll
awesome.
go together.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And we got to give a shout out to our friends Scott and Judy, who
Yeah.
introduced us first,
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
lived in the same,
complex.
complex that y'all lived
Right.
in, and they said, guess what? We know somebody else that's going full time.
Yeah.
So, before we wrap up, you are starting a new YouTube channel, Carl.
Yes,
you want
I
to tell
am.
the folks about
Yeah,
that?
it's called Carlos the Storyteller. I grew up in a Hispanic community, so I've been known as Carlos my whole life, even though my name is Carl. Yeah, but I've got two very famous relatives. I've got a dad that lived a very interesting life. I had a grandfather that lived a very interesting life, very interesting personalities. And I just got story upon story to share with all those things that I think most people will find interesting. I hope the videos last maybe 5 to 7 minutes. We won't bore you with too long, but each one of them will have a message. Not that I'm going to be preachy, but I think there's kind of lessons in what the older folks have experienced in their life that we can benefit from.
Oh, that's awesome. And we will, when you go live
Yeah.
with that and start doing videos, we'll put it throughout our social media and stuff and
Super.
let y'all know, because we're looking forward to the
Yeah.
channel.
We're going to subscribe right
Oh,
away.
Oh
cool.
yeah. Yeah. Were you able to set it up?
Yes, it's set up.
It is
Okay.
set up, so it's out there. So if you want to go to it and go ahead and
We'll put the link in the description.
yeah, if you
so
want
make
to
sure we
subscribe
get
to it
that.
now, so then and get a notification as soon as he puts up a video,
Yeah.
then boom, you'll be ready.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
that's awesome.
Can't back out now.
Yeah, you're in now. No pressure.
No pressure.
No.
That, well, thank
And
you guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you
We've
for
enjoyed it.
joining us, and
You're inviting us.
absolutely, we look forward to running into you guys again out on the road.
That's for sure.
If you have any other questions, for Marilyn and Carlos,
Yeah.
be sure to drop them in the comments, and if you guys would go through and kind of see if you want,
Okay.
if there's anything you want to answer,
Okay.
and I'm sure they would be willing to share their experiences a little more too as
Mhm.
new full-time RVers.
And they're only new full-time RVers. We didn't
Not-
mention
they are
they
very
used to.
experienced.
They used to RV
Yes. Yeah.
as well. They had an RV before that.
Correct.
Absolutely. Well, awesome. Keep on winging it, and until next time, we'll see y'all Sunday. Safe travels.
And happy camping.
Adios,
Bye.
amigos.